back to That Dad Guy. It's October 1st, 2022. And for those of you who are post-crossers, it's World Postcard Day. So hopefully you are busy writing all your postcards and getting them out, making sure you get your postcard badge on officialpostcrossing.com. So if you pull a registered name today, send out a postcard, and when it arrives at its destination, you'll get that badge put on your site. But that's not why you tune into this channel. Not today anyways. Today's That Dad Guy Answers. So I'm going to answer the questions that you left on my last video. This is how we do it each week. We're on part 34, so this has been a long-running series. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with it. It keeps going this way. We get a couple questions every week. It doesn't have to be super long, but it is nice to have a variety of questions. So this week, I'm going to get right to it. So first question comes from Snail Mill with Smokey. He is in Wisconsin in the United States. He said, could you tell us what brand of stamp album that the Canadian stamps are that you show us? Okay, so if you haven't seen back, I have periodically, I put out a stamp video. I usually see those albums back there. That's my father's stamp collection. So I've been focusing on the Canadian side of it right now. And these are the albums that my father started. Now, I sent him these from when I was living out in Vancouver. They're Unity stamp albums. And shot right here. This is volume 3. So they come out and they have all the pages in it from all the stamps that get issued. Now, stamps don't come with it, and there's no adhesives in it. So it says, the second question is, are the stamps amounts already attached to the pages? So the answer to that question, let me just open it up so you can see what it looks like. Here is page 1 of this one. This is a sneak peek at 2001. This is what it comes looking like. It's just a color image of the stamp. So my father has bought black mounted adhesives that you put on there that you can slide the stamp in. He's got one there for that as well. So I want to make sure I take that stamp out so you can see. So that's the image that comes on it, and he's put one of those on it. So you can just, I should have my, just slide it right in like that. So pretty cool books. I was happy to find them, to organize them. My father had just been putting them on pages. I'm going to do this real quick. Here. This is one. Nope. We picked the wrong one. Alright, so this is what my father originally started to do. He would take a graph page or a loose leaf page, and he would just write in it the Scott numbers, so he knew what he had and what he didn't have. He would go to the library and get the Scott manuals out for whatever country he was working at, and then he would use those binders and put in loose leaves. You know, he would change it around as he got new stamps in that would fit in, and he would just mark what Scott numbers they are. So I am going to get into those sometime in the future and show you the different ones. I was just trying to work through my Canadian section, so if you're watching, that's what I've been doing. So Smokey, he uses the Unity binders just for Canada, because that's what we were working on. And he did that right up until he started buying the annual ones that Canada Post was putting out that had all the stamps in them. So then he just started buying those commemorative books. So we'll get into those as well too at some point in time. So thanks for that, Smokey. I appreciate it. All right, the next one comes from Aurelia Swing, and she is in Greece, and she says, do you have any pet peeves in connection with post-crossing or swapping? For example, she gets annoyed when people on the platform are too demanding with what cards they like or how they want them. Example, in an envelope, no stickers, with many stamps, but with stamps that show no birds, that type of thing. I don't normally get annoyed with post-crossing. I do get annoyed if my cards expire. So I have a bunch of those ones that said, you know, they've been traveling for 300 days and never get there. But that's no fault of post-crossing. And sometimes it is something that gets lost in the mail. You might get a machine that eats a card and it can never reach its destination. I get that. Working for Canada Post, things do happen and all the different mail systems, and there's a whole bunch of different ways that that letter travels. So you might put it in a mailbox here. It might rain that night or snow, and the numbers on the card might get washed away. It might stick to another envelope or another card that's being mailed, and it might get ripped up. It could go from the person that picks up the mail to put it into a sorting machine or a sorting box that goes to someone else, that goes to another plant, that goes on a belt, that gets sorted, might get caught. There's tons of things that can damage a postcard from the time you send it to where it's going to go. And it can also end up at a post crosser that's no longer active. That happens too, I guess. So it might reach its destination, but the person might not be interested in post crossing anymore, and they might read and throw the card away, or they may file it away but never register it. So those things kind of get annoying to have that happen. As far as being demanding, I'm not keen on people saying, I want. So if someone reaches out, especially someone who's swapping and telling you what they want, I'm into surprises when I get cards. Someone asks me what I want what you think you want to send me. Not what you think I want to have. I don't have to have trains or mailboxes or Lord of the Rings. They're cool if you get them. And I do put suggestions on my post-crossing platform of things that I do like, because it's easier to have a guideline of things, not knowing a person. You know, if someone's scared of birds, I don't want to send them a card that's covered in birds or stamps that are covered in birds. I get that. That's all right. I don't like when people say, send me currency or, I don't know, mint sheets of stamps. I don't like that. I don't like it if I've shown something that I have that I want to show to someone else, and someone messaged me and said, send me that. No, that's not how it works. So those things I don't like. But yeah, if I've had where you've sent a card to someone, I don't know if I've had it personally, but I know people that have had it. You send a card to someone and someone says, well, I don't really like that card. Can you send me another? No, that's not how post-crossing works either. The hobby is when you exchange cards, you send off what you want. It's a one-time thing. If a card goes to a destination and doesn't get registered, I don't send them another card. I know people that do that. So that would be kind of not a pet peeve, but just something I wouldn't do. What other pet peeves? I like having some sort of guidelines. So if they say they don't like stickers, why do I want to put stickers all over it? If someone's reaching out to swap with me, they're usually not asking for a specific card. I mean, they may have seen me on one of my videos show cards that I've gotten, and someone might say, well, I like those type of cards. It's a guideline for me. They may not get that card. I may have already thought of someone else that's going to. But if you say, I like cards that show winter, that's okay. I like the one card that you have that shows winter. Yeah, you might get it. Depends on my mood that day, because sometimes when I buy cards or I get cards, the first time I see it, I see, oh, that card is specific for. It just rings true that that's the card that's got to go to that person. And if someone else asks for it, you either have to say, well, no, I don't have that one anymore, or because I've already destined it for someone else. When you're doing swaps, it's good that way. You can at least reach out. If someone is demanding in a swap, I'm not going to swap with them. If they have all these restrictions of what I can and can't do, I don't want that. But I try to keep it as easy as possible. If someone has reached out, I usually say, send me a surprise, because that's what I want. I want to, when I get it in the mail, wow, who's this from? Look at it, read it, and then when I show it on my video, that's my true feelings about that card. It's not something like, I asked for this specific card, when it shows up, it's just a picture in the end. So why do I have to have a certain picture? That's kind of the way I look at it. If you're a collector, I get it. You want to have the whole series of something. But that's not me. I'm collecting, but I'm not collecting because I need a certain amount of sets of whatever the cards are that are coming. I'm collecting because I want to reach out to somebody else and have that connection. Not collecting friends, if more than anything, maybe. That's what I want to do here. So, Aurelia Swing, I hope that answers your question about post-crossing and swapping. There are certain guidelines that I like to have in place, and there's certain things that I like to be free-flowing. That's the best way of saying it, I guess. And that's it. I just had those two people sending questions. That's all right. I think we got a lot of discussion on 2 questions. I'm quite surprised, actually, that it went this long in my head of things that come out. When I don't prepare ahead of time for these type of things, sometimes I ramble on. And that's what you're getting a bit today, is that rambling on. I'm thinking about the question and answers at the same time as I'm trying to get it out. So that's what happens. All right, well, I'm going to say have a magical week this week to you, because I still have some stuff I need to do for World Postcard Day. And I got to get all that stuff out to the post office and get it stamped and cards finished and all the rest of it. So have a magical week.
What, Polo? You say like, subscribe, share, and tell all your friends?
Who's a good boy? Who's a good boy?